Okay, I've been working on this website for some time. Well, actually, just over the last week and also today. And this is what I had. Now, the majority of stuff I did on this website it was done in about 2 days. Just tinkering around, seeing what worked and what didn't. So what this was, I tried to focus mostly on the design factor of this website. Well, it's just a local website because it's off my computer, and but it's not published. Just wanted to make that clear. So you can see the navigation works fine, but I didn't spend much time with the documents. For example, here, I think I spent more time working out things like this. So this is what I was doing today. This is kind of simple. I just tried to create a page that has the JavaScript. Well, this is talking about JavaScript functions, this little page here. And under functions says alert, and then it shows how the code looks like for JavaScript. And then it explains what it does, and then I added this little button here. Well, I can add a transition to it, but at this point I don't really see the purpose of that. So I'm just going to leave it as a button for now. But anyway, as you can see here, you can click test out. It'll test out that JavaScript function and it'll show what it does in the browser. In fact, that's what it does. And the way it does this, and the way I did it actually, I'll show you. Go ahead and show. If I go to JavaScript directory, which is the folder, it starts here. Well, this is the index file. This is this one here, and it links to functions, which is this site, and to a variable site, which I haven't really done anything. I just tossed some dummy text in there, so there's really nothing to see. This site, you can see how I did it. Like I mentioned, I had it pre-formatted text to show the JavaScript and how it looks, and then I went ahead and gave it the description what it does. So now you can see in the corner how I did that. Now, I could have used divs. In fact, probably, funny thing, it probably would have been more semantic, but I decided to use sections just, because I'm familiar with using sections and I know that works well. And I'll probably change that though later. Anyway, as you can see, I have an H3, a heading 3, and then all of the rest is contained inside of a figure. This, as you probably already noticed, this was a link, and it actually has a few styles. I can show you some styles. Let's go to the styles in this website. Now, just so you know, everything in this website I made is from one style sheet. I don't have a lot of styles here. I only have 200 lines of it. But just in those 200 lines, I'm able to accomplish this. So here you go. Excuse me. That's not what I was trying to look for. What I'm trying to look for is the link styles for this. And I'll show you how to do that. I applied a class. I don't know. Let me go back real quick. Let me go right back. And you can see right here, I applied a class. Right here, class is button. So the class of this anchor element with the link inside of it is button. So if I go to my CSS, you'll see I applied some pseudo classes to a class. As you can see, here's the class and here's some pseudo classes. For example, well, actually I added the link pseudo class and the hover pseudo class and the active. Now the rest I just left to default, although if I wanted to actually make this more professional, I would actually change that as well. So you can see how I did that. I added some padding. If I go into inspect element mode from, let me get out of responsive view. Oh, by the way, this is a mobile first responsive layout. I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, it's mobile first. So this is actually how the site looks like at first. Well, it normally never gets that small, so you want to worry about that heading 1 up there. But normally it's like this. So this is a mobile first layout, meaning it's designed for mobile first. And then as it gets bigger, it accommodates for bigger screens. So like so. Anyway, like I was saying, let's go to this little search tool here. You can see when I hover over here, you'll notice this little blue section that goes directly around the text. That is the content area. Now, you may not be able to tell, but let's see. this is actually like a slightly green color right here. It's overlaid over the orange, so you can't tell very much. But that's green, and that green section from here to here that's going all around this text is called padding. Now, I added some padding, 1 em of padding. Slightly elastic. I don't know why I did it that way. I like using ems. It's just a habit. So that's how I have the button look. If I could remove this, I'll go show how it looks like. So where did I do it? Where did I put it? Oh yeah, let me just comment this out. Oh yeah, I don't know if you noticed, the text that I'm using is Sublime text. It's pretty good. I mean, normally the button would look like this, okay? What the padding does, it gives it extra padding on each side of the content. Now you can assign padding to just one side by putting that as a prefix to the series of properties. Well, actually, you can put a prefix to the property, actually. For example, I would say, well, not a prefix, actually a suffix. For example, I would say top, and that's how I would do it. And just go ahead and save that, just because. Let's go reload this now. As you notice, it appears just like normal. With this is just a figure caption. I may style this with italics, or change the font style. Yeah. And so yeah, that's this. Moving on to the CSS. Now, last time I played around with this web page, I did most of the stuff here. So what I was trying to do here, you say this is really ugly. Well, just so you know, this is one of the only web pages. It doesn't have any default styles. So the styles in this one is just embedded. So I had it so it didn't receive any from the style sheet. So I can just like play around with stuff and not have to worry about style rules, not style rules, but like inheritance and stuff. You can say it has just one link to go back, and I call it like it's like a little playground, because it's not advanced, just playing around with stuff. You see how I did this here? Playing with perspective, what I was trying to do here is to see how I could use perspective to maybe make some cool links. But for now, I'm just sticking with the transforms, like the 2D transforms instead of 3D ones. I already showed JavaScript. Looks a little bit choppy. I haven't done anything in this section yet. But I think that was the most of what I was gonna really say. Yeah, I think I mentioned about that. Let me just go show you the document structure of this. In fact, I'm gonna show you. I have it up on this wall. Bring it over. See, it's a diagram I made for the web page. Now, at this point, it's no longer completely accurate because I've added some things. See, I've added some things and I've taken away some things, so it's no longer exactly accurate, but it's a good diagram. One thing I haven't mentioned before I show you the diagram, I'll show you this. I created a class, and this class has applied transitions, and CSS3's transition, and delay as well as background color to this class. And so when you hover over, if you wait over a second or half a second, it'll kind of highlight the area. It's a cool thing. It won't do it here because being that the class is only applied to certain paragraphs. So whatever paragraph I want able to be like this, I can do it. What else? It also does this over. Wait, no, actually, I didn't show this yet. I was playing around with this. Now this is just dummy text, like I said. But if I hover here, I made it not transitionable, but I made it so you could hover over it and it will do that. Okay, to the diagram, the website file structure, not the diagram. So here we have our JS folder, where we have our JavaScript. Now, I plan on adding respond.js, and maybe even Modernizer, shims and shivs, I think that's what they're called. And just so that the website would be more friendly to, like, older versions of not IE9, that's a newer version. Anything older than IE9. For example, this is the JavaScript directory. Now this does not have any JavaScript in it, so don't get confused. This is just a directory that has the HTML files talking about JavaScript. For example, you have the index one, which you've probably seen. Let's just drag this over. You can see this. Yeah, the image is just a normal image, img, embedded, nothing fancy. If you go to JS functions, you could literally just look at this. But they're linked together, so that's why you're able to navigate with that. So the test.out folder, this is interesting because this is where the other JavaScript is used. Now I'll show you the JavaScript real quick before I get to the JavaScript is extremely simple. Just one thing like this. I mean, nothing fancy about it. But you can see it just uses JavaScript to show what that function did. Yeah, basically it just runs the function, and that's what the JS is for. And if you go to JavaScript directory, these test out are just blank documents. There's nothing in them. All it does is have, I'll show you. It's a head. I mean, there's no content. All it has in the head is, I mean, there's no styles in there. I put it there just to keep it uniform. But there's no styles there. And one thing it has is it redirects. Well, that doesn't redirect. It gets an external style sheet. It's an external script, and it runs it. That's the only thing this thing does. And another thing, it opens in a blank web page, which, if you don't know how that's done, I'll show you real soon. So if you go here to the JS variables, like I said, whoa, what happened? JS variables. Oh wait, I'm supposed to open the functions. Functions. You can see when I test it, it opens out in a new tab. Okay. You can see that. And how I do that, go to test out. Actually, go to the functions HTML document. Open it up in Sublime Text. And you'll see I have a target blank attribute added to the anchor element. So what this will do, it'll target a new window named blank. Now, funny thing is, if I change this to be anything else, the window won't appear on top. So what some people do to get around this, they'll have some JavaScript so that when a blank document like this is opened, it'll redirect to a separate page. So it opens up for a second and then redirects, so the window stays on top, but immediately after the blank document pops up, it'll redirect. Now, I just have it set blank because I don't need it to redirect anyway. But you could actually name the document. Only problem, it'll open up behind the current browser window, which can make it look like the link didn't work. So that's why you don't like it. Let's just show you this icon. This icon is used up here in the header of the web page. Going here, you can see HTML directory, just one document. That's how it looks like. CS directory, this just talks about CSS. It doesn't actually have any CSS inside of it. So this is the testing website, the blank one I was showing. This has a few not inline styles. Inline styles, no, I don't do that. It has a few embedded style sheets, style rules. And here you see we have perspective, list, or that's just ID, but list, and then we have list, and then list up. Kind of look real quick to see what that does. It basically allows you to do that transform, where it uses 3D transforms. The thing comes out, twists over like that, but it looks 3D because it takes some perspective in mind. You can see here I have something called WebKit perspective. Well, it's actually just called perspective, but this is a prefix that is often needed for other browsers. So yeah, that was the testing web page, and then under index you can just see that everything else just falls in. Under images, we have the 3 images from the 3 web pages that are linked from the navbar. And then I can already show the JavaScript directory and nothing here. And the index looks like this, just some dummy text, and yeah. So this is pretty much the web page I've been playing around with. I've actually made like 6 other websites. I made a website, but made 6 other web pages, and I guess I can show you some of those. Going to Finder, and we'll go into my desktop web design. Oops, that's one I'm using right now. If I go over here to HTML5, I took a class for HTML, actually web design, and that's where I've learned most of this information. So now let's just open this document here. Go to projects, and here's all the projects I've done. And let's just open this up, entire folder. Now this is be kind of hard to show, but a good thing I forgot about this. These are like fonts and IDs. So this is the style sheet for this document here. It's not very long. In fact, it took me time to make because I hadn't had much experience with floating things, which took me some time to figure out. But it was all worth it, of course. So let's go ahead and open this up, and I'll show you how this web page that I made looks like. It looks like this. That looks kind of funny actually now that I look at it. I don't know why it isn't centered. Never mind, that's just my eyes playing tricks on it. Its content actually is centered, it's just kind of odd. Works. Anyway, as you can see, this is basically a page talking about myself, my name, and stuff like that. And here you have a different web page. Now this is an old web page. I won't look at it because, well, fine as well. Looks pretty ugly, I will say. You can see this is one of the first pages I made, and it was what I basically did here was to learn how to link within a web page and how to link to other web pages and websites and on the web and relative to the file. So that's when I learned how to do that. CSS project. This was interesting. I was required to restyle this page because we made this which was pretty bare. It didn't look that good. And we were required to restyle it later on. And when we were told to do that, we were also told to make this. So we were given some HTML, but we were to make a CSS document that would style it. If I'm correct, this was external, and we weren't allowed to change any of the HTML, just CSS. Here's another project that's more recent. This was kind of made to look more like a. It didn't look much like a website. It looked more like a nice decorative document for like a website, like a about page, something like that. As you can see here, these links don't go anywhere. They're just dummy text again. And let's go to photo gallery. Now this is made around the same time I made the top 10. But you can see how if you click on these images, you're given a dig image. And the purpose of this was just, optimize images for the web, which is what we were learning at this time. So you can go back to the gallery, we can go back to, well, that takes you to the website I got from. These photos were from Unsplash. Page layout, photo gallery, I already showed that. Joe's Auto, we were given a old XHTML document, and we were told to change it to HTML5 doc type, and also to use appropriate elements for the it's instead of using like divs and stuff like that, but to use more semantic elements that come with new HTML5. That probably didn't make much sense, but hopefully they did. And so this was my idea. This is my rendition of it. You can see how when it gets smaller, the images disappear. Right there, as it gets bigger, see some of the image pop in, like that money back in, key pops in. Actually, all this stuff just kind of goes here, but when it gets bigger, it kind of goes to the side. Now, if I make it real big, you can see this is kind of like a limit. I don't want it to get so big that the text are just too far away on the page. And you can see how the images here appear at a certain point. I can tell that. If it's too small, it'll just show listing, but later on, if it's big enough, it'll show images. And yes, this page is mobile first. So this was the final project. I had to finish this about a week ago, which was amazing. So it doesn't look like much, but to be honest, I waited too long to do it. So I had to create. Everyone was doing their final projects for the last 2 weeks of class, whereas I had to do mine in 2 days. Funny thing is, mine did look better than most people's, even though it took so much less time. Even though I took way less time to make it. So you can see this takes you back to the profile. That link is what it does. This takes you to like contact, where we were required to make a form that actually works. This form, if I put information here, it'll redirect it to my email, and it's just a fake email, fake number. but they have links, so that if I click them, it'll ask me if I want to launch an application. I'm just going to say do nothing. Same thing with this, except this one won't ask. It will actually just open up the default mail for Mac. If you're on Windows, it'll probably open up Outlook. If you're Windows 8 or if you're an old version, it'll open up like Hotmail, something like that that's on your system. So that was the contact page, the product page. Now you may notice that once I click to a different page, the my portfolio page link disappeared, which is kind of how I wanted it. You can see I had to make this page. We were required to optimize images as well. I put the background image if you hadn't noticed already. But yeah, I put a description. It's a very short one because I was rushing. I really was rushing to make this. Homepage takes you back to this page, and then the gallery was pretty fun. So you saw the other gallery that I did, and you can kind of see how I improved on that. I had the images centered so that they will rescale from the center, not from the sides. I mean the left side. So if you go ahead and click it, it basically works the same way, except it will have a nice decorative white border. This is not a white border, this is just a background, and the image is set on top of it, but it kind of gives the appearance that it's a border. Again, I use these images from unsplash.com, and you may notice there's no link saying next as the one before, and the reason is because this entire image is a link. For example, you can notice that it has been assigned a title, so if I hover over here, it'll say next image, but really I can click anywhere. It's just a title, it just describes the link, and this entire thing's a link. So to get back to gallery, will take me back here. I can click any of these and it'll open up. If I click this, it'll scroll through the images. Like I said, these images are in a giant link. So I think that was one of the coolest things I did with this website. And again, links to unsplash.com, which I have renowned photographs. So if you're ever looking for Creative Commons Zero photographs, go to Unsplash. They're great. So yeah, that was my final project. I think I would have done more if I had more time. I probably would have added like video, and what I actually really wanted to do, I wanted to have a background here that transitioned. Not transition, but it was like a slideshow. And I played around with some JavaScript for some time. I was looking at some tutorials, but I wasn't able to get it working, and I only had like a few hours left. I had like 12 hours left to finish like an entire rest of the website. So I said, you know, I need to get on with it. So yeah, that was that. I was able to do so much in one day, but then the next day I had to complete it. So yeah, this is my final project. You can see the page right away. So basically, this is what I've done, and we've done more projects, but these are the ones that I've published, and these are the ones that I've created mostly myself. I don't want to click yet. That, and I'll just show you that this is all the files required. See, for the CSS project we were given, I did create this image, so that was just some GIMP. Well, actually, I think I may have made that one in Photoshop. Can't remember. Final project, you can see the files I used here. The gallery has the HTML documents, which here. This one just links to all of these ones. We have the images, and we have the thumbnails for the document here that links to. Under images, we have some images for the home page and a logo. You probably saw that on all the pages, how it has a logo in the background of the final product. Some JS. This did have some JS, but this was like generic shivs and divs. Not shivs, shivs and shims. Yeah. Product page, you can see that it has its own thumbnails and styles. Now, let me go ahead and show this. Being that this entire page was to be made with one style sheet, it was like a 250. I made bigger ones, made like almost 300, but some of the stuff didn't work, so I think I kind of slim it down. So okay, I know I've been going for 24 minutes, and I really need to drink some water, so I'm going to end it off right there. This was pretty fun for me. I hope you thought it was interesting, and seeing stuff that I've made over the last 2 months. In 2 months, it's 8-week class, and this is what I created. Now, if you notice, I will say this on the portfolio. I'll just say this right here. On the portfolio page, notice that the links just link to things that are inside the web page. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting stuff. So I use the same thing I learned from this project in this one. Anyway, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. This may be kind of boring to people who are not technically inclined or really have interest in this anyway. So sorry about that. But I figured might as well make a video because I haven't made one for some time because I've been working on this. So yeah, hope you enjoy.